So here we go, everybody. Welcome to the recap, the show where we discuss the talking points from Town's last game, which of course was a 1-1 draw against Plymouth. It was the battle of the big dogs in League One. First versus third. I'm joined by good old Ben Diaz to discuss the game as a whole. We've had 48 hours, Ben, to reflect on it. How you doing, my friend, and how are you reflecting on the point against Plymouth?
Still slightly disappointed, Ross. I know we're going to go into a little bit more detail about the game itself, but my overriding feeling is disappointment, just because of the whole day and the opportunity that was there to gain 3 points on our promotion rivals. Still slightly disappointed on what has been I think cast as Blue Monday. Usually a Blue Monday as an Ipswich fan should be a good thing, but I think nationally, isn't it the most depressing day of the year? But I'm not too low, but slightly disappointed.
Yeah, most depressing day of the year. But I'm still positive of what can come for Town this season. Let's talk, Ben, about the day itself. It was great atmosphere, 29,000+ at Portman Road. In League One, it's just mad. Of course, we're now expecting this. We're getting crowds of 20+ every week, which is great to see. So there was a lot of, big drum up going into this game. We knew it was going to be a big game against Plymouth. Let's talk about the team news / first half. No Nathan Broadhead. He sort of was a precaution going into the game and wasn't going to play. George Hurst was on the bench. But what was your thoughts on the team news and the first half in general as well? A frenzied first half, as Stuart Watson's is sort of talking about it, because that is the sort of game we were expecting, weren't we, against Plymouth? Two good sides batting out.
Yeah, really good atmosphere. Always love that sort of hum around the ground when we have a good crowd like we did. Also want to say well done to Plymouth. I know they're obviously top of the league, so it always encourages them bringing a lot of fans. But it's a bloody long journey to Suffolk, and I thought they represented their club overall quite well. But yeah, it was quite. It really kicked into gear second half. So I wouldn't say the first half was cagey, but both teams did tend to cancel each other out with a few half chances. The team news obviously been interesting that Broadhead wasn't involved. Slight muscle tightness apparently. Don't know about you, Ross, but I don't think I'd get out of bed if I had slight muscle tightness and couldn't go to work. So I think most of us suffer from that. But of course, I have to take precautions. Brand new signing. He's our most shiny new silver thing. So we have to look after him. But yeah, a little bit disappointing he wasn't involved. But it was our best 11, I think, taking into account the new signings didn't start. So didn't disagree with the 11 that were on the pitch. And as I said, I thought both teams were really evenly matched in that first half.
And there's been a lot of talk about Christian Walton. Of course, it was a battle of the two very good goalkeepers in the League One. There's a few moments where he's always a bit, oh my God moment. But then there was some bad passing back from, Janai Danashian and the defence in general. But what's your thoughts on the debate at the moment with Christian Walton?
Yeah, maybe we looked a little bit more nervous, maybe the occasion, although we should be expecting it now with these crowds. Maybe you could say that was part of it in terms of did it get to the players? A few passes went astray. The Walton thing is a funny one, I think, because he did get a couple of back passes that weren't ideal, either to his left foot as a left-footed goalkeeper, or he's put under a little bit too much pressure. Essentially, I know you want your goalkeeper to play like an outfield player these days, but he is still paid to keep the ball at the back of the net, not to distribute passes left, right, and centre. I do think that's an element of his game he can improve on, but he's certainly not the worst in the division, if not a division higher. So for me, he's still a more than capable goalkeeper in this league. I wasn't really panicking at all. Some fans, I know, you can get nervous in the big occasion, etc. But I thought most of the time, apart from maybe once, possibly twice, the panicking or the crowd's murmurs were warranted. But overall, I think Christian was fine.
Indeed. And the goal he conceded was, you weren't going to stop that, was he? He wasn't going to stop that. But before that, Wes Burns coming up with another big moment. He scored the winning goal against Pompey, scored the goal against Derby, live on Sky, and then here he comes again. A great finish. What was your reaction? I'm sure you were celebrating that like a crazy man as well.
Yeah, got the goal on Boxing Day as well, which was another bumper crowd against Oxford. Superb volley. So he's becoming the man for the big occasion. Interestingly, against teams that sit deep, he does sometimes find it more difficult to get involved or can't quite be that man that we're looking for. But I mean, it was a fantastic strike, an absolute bullet of a shot. Brilliant layoff by Wolfie, playing like a number 10, and obviously he was up for the set piece, and he just laid it off beautifully on the half volley with his left foot. Superbly fell to him, you know, obviously on his right foot, just that perfectly weighted pass for him to hit first time. And yeah, like an absolute bullet, it was past Cooper in a flash. I think that it went so quickly that I was worried that, you know, I know everybody else would be making that same mistake, but did it hit the side net, and had it gone in, it was almost like a slight delay to my celebrations, not wanting to make an ass of myself celebrating if it hadn't gone in. But obviously, like everybody else around me, you're going absolutely crazy. People swinging the scarves over their heads, people down the aisle. It was, yeah, a superb moment, and one that you really thought lift off in this game. You know, it being quite even. Are we going to do it? You know, are we going to win this huge game at home?
Yeah, fortunately not. Of course, there's some big chances in the game for Plymouth. You know, a sitter by Ryan Hardy, and then of course Marcus Harness hitting the crossbar. But unfortunately, you know, 9 minutes out of time, there's a few stoppages because of injuries. Wes Burns had to come off, of course. But yeah, Ben, the moment happened, the leveller, and it had to be him, the Norwich loanee, Balin Momba, scoring the goal, deflection as well. We've had those many times, sadly, this season. You know, late equalisers. What was your reaction when that went in?
Oh, obviously devastation, like everybody else in the crowd, apart from the 2,100 in the Plymouth corner. Yeah, he hadn't done too much from an attacking point of view all game, and I know lots of Town fans, I think, have commented on the fact that it was the only thing he did all game in terms of going forward and scoring. It was a great strike, still deflected into the top corner. You'd think Walton probably would have had it covered without that deflection, but they're tiny percentages that are costing us at the moment. Perhaps we didn't get close enough to, you know, to obviously shut down the shot. Perhaps we shouldn't have shown him inside so easily onto his left foot. But I think just touching on the whole game as well, he did stop Leif Davis, who is our best attacking player in terms of assist quality. You know, that's shown in the numbers. Davis really didn't get a sniff all game going forward. So quietly, Mumbar, I think, had a really good game, and then he goes and he's the difference maker in between that point or 3 points to Ipswich. So bit of a sickener. It wasn't as bad as the Fleetwood goal, because that was almost 2 deflections and from further out. But it was sort of just one of those goals that just seems on another day it goes into Rosette or goes just wide or hits the woodwork again. So it hurt. You know, it really hurt, and then the game sort of just petered out. Nothing further happened. No complaints on the injury time. You know, 9 minutes I think was fair. We've just got to try and learn to see these games out, or if anything, go and get the second goal.
Yeah, getting that second goal was always going to be the big thing in this game, and you know, there weren't, you know, foreign loads of chances as well, they Plymouth, but they got their goal in at the moment. And yeah, gutting that. Well, that was the word we were using on game day at the end of the game, because it was just gutting. I think everyone was just going, oh, here we go again. You know, 1-0 up and they get the equaliser. How would you sum up, Ben, the whole game? You know, was a draw a right result over the 90?
Yeah, I think McKenna came out and said just that, and I'm sure your colleagues at East Anglian are gonna say the same as well. I tend to agree. I think again it was really tight, two teams sort of cancelling each other out with a lot more quality than other games we've seen in this division. It was a really enjoyable game to watch from the point of view that we didn't have a team coming to Portman Road and parking the bus like Plymouth gave, as good as they've got, which is much better on the eye in terms of watching it as a spectacle. So sitting where I did enjoy the game of football. Perhaps we didn't move the ball as quickly as we might have, and I have said this before, that you know, this time of year on a pitch that just won't move, you won't be able to move the ball as quickly as we could in August, September, October. Just the way the pitch carries water a little bit more than it normally would. It's a little bit heavier. Maybe that holds us back a little bit, but I overall, when I'm trying to get over my disappointment, it's just great to feel again. It's great to have the club so energised and to look forward to these big games instead of dreading teams coming to Portman Road. We now can look forward to it. There's a long way to go. I'm making myself feel better by understanding that it's only January. We've got 20 league games to go. 7 points behind Plymouth is not an insurmountable lead for us to catch up on. So fingers crossed the next few games, you know, we can get on a run and see where we go from there.
I think that's the perfect way to end this video. But we, of course, want to give a special mention to Marcus Stewart. I know one of your favourite players, growing up and, seeing him, wear the town shirt, but him to be there at halftime, doing a great speech and just having a chat with good old Simon Milton. It was just great to see him back at Portman Road.
It was. I mean, he got the reception I think we all expected him to. Everybody loves Marcus Stewart for what he's done for the football club, although really he wasn't with us actually very long. It seems, I think, when you actually look back and see the seasons he was with us, it just went so quickly. He's, I guess that shows what a player he was for us, that he has got this stamp on the football club historically now. Even though it was only was for sort of 3 and a bit seasons, I think overall. So, brilliant player for us. Obviously, going to be going through, or he's going through a really hard time, and he's got the backing of the club. And I think the football family, even people at my work, people who don't know about football, know about Marcus, and because I think MND is getting more and more coverage out there, because of people like Rob Burrows and. Other people who have sadly passed away since with that disease. That hopefully with more and more awareness, there can be more funding, and fingers crossed for Marcus. And we're all there with him.
We are indeed. Once a blue, always a blue. Good on Marcus Stewart. Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining me. Any other business? Any other notes? Oxford United up next, away from home, and as you said, 20 big games left to play. So keep the positivity, everybody. And I just don't want the playoffs, Ben. I just don't want it. But yeah, any other business?
No, thank you, Ross. No other business. Just look forward to hopefully getting back to 3 winning points on Saturday. And as I said, hit the ground running for the rest of the season and see where it takes us.
Indeed, my friend. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for watching the recap. Get involved in the comments. Share your thoughts. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.